Hello, boys and girls. Today we're going to be reading The Snowy Day, written and illustrated by Ezra Jack Keats. It's a really good book, so I hope you enjoy the story. Today we're going to be working on the story elements of a story. So our I can today is I can identify and describe the story elements of the story. The story elements that we're going to be working on today are the setting, the characters, the problem in the story, and the solution in the story. So next we're going to go over our story elements and what each one means in more detail, and then we'll begin our story. Okay, now we will review our anchor chart for the story elements. S is for setting. Setting is where and when the story takes place. T is for the talking characters, the people, the animals, or the objects that talk in the story. O is for oops, a problem. That is what the character wants or needs but cannot have. R is for attempts to resolve, how the character attempts to fix the problem. And Y is for yes, a solution, how the problem gets fixed. All right, now I want to go over each of these with our anchor chart. So we said S is for setting. As you can see here in the picture, in this story, the setting is outside in someone's yard. T was for the talking characters. And we see the two girls here who are saying hi to one another, so they are the characters. O was for oops, a problem. And the problem here is the girl's mom has sent her out to get the mail, and she's going out, but it started to rain and she's getting wet. R was for attempts to resolve. That's how the character tries to fix the problem. And the little girl tried a couple things. First, she went under the tree, but she was still getting wet. And then she ran back home. But neither of those solved the problem because her mom wants the mail. And Y was for yes, a solution, how the problem gets fixed. And you can see the little girl went inside and got an umbrella so she could walk out to the mailbox and get the mail without getting wet. So that was how she solved the problem. All right, now we'll read our story, boys and girls. I hope you enjoy. Okay, boys and girls, let's go ahead and get started with our story, The Snowy Day. Today's story is a fiction story. Fiction means a story that is just made up. All right, let's begin. The Snowy Day, written and illustrated by Ezra Jack Keats. One winter morning, Peter woke up and looked out the window. Snow had fallen during the night. It covered everything as far as he could see. After breakfast, he put on his snowsuit and ran outside. The snow was piled up very high along the street to make a path for walking. S is for setting, where and when the story takes place. In this part of the story, Mrs. Cook is beginning to see clues to help us with the setting. We can see that it's daytime, and we can also see that it's very snowy outside, so it's winter time. And the story takes place at Peter's house. Some parts of the story take place inside the house, and some parts of the story take place outside of the house. Crunch, crunch, crunch. His feet sank into the snow. He walked with his toes pointing out like this. He walked with his toes pointing in like that. Then he dragged his feet slowly to make tracks, and he found something sticking out of the snow that made a new track. It was a stick that was just right for smacking a snow-covered tree. Down fell the snow, plop, on top of Peter's head. He thought it would be fun to join the big boys in their snowball fight, but he knew he wasn't old enough. Not yet. So he made a smiling snowman and he made angels. He pretended he was a mountain climber. He climbed up a great big tall heaping mountain of snow and slid all the way down. He picked up a handful of snow and another and still another. He packed it round and firm and put the snowball in his pocket for tomorrow. Then he went into his warm house. He told his mother all about his adventures while she took off his wet socks. Let's stop here and ask some questions. We know that T is for talking characters, the people, the animals, and the objects that are talking in the story. Boys and girls, who are the characters so far in our story? The characters so far are Peter and his mother. And he thought and thought and thought about them. Before he got into bed, he looked in his pocket. His pocket was empty. The snowball wasn't there. He felt very sad. Let's stop here and talk about the story. O is for oops, a problem. And a problem is what the character wants or needs but cannot have. What do you think the problem so far in the story is, boys and girls? The problem is that Peter has put a snowball in his pocket to save to play with later. But the snowball has melted and now he's really sad. I wonder how he's going to solve that problem. While he slept, he dreamed that the sun had melted all the snow away. But when he woke up, his dream was gone. The snow was still everywhere. New snow was falling. After breakfast, he called to his friend from across the hall, and they went out together into the deep, deep snow. Y is for yes, a solution. A solution is how the problem in the story gets fixed. How did Peter solve his problem, boys and girls? Peter solved his problem by getting his friend, his neighbor, to go outside in the snow with him again so that they can make more snowballs and have fun, and Peter wouldn't be sad anymore. Well, that's the end of our story. I hope you enjoyed it. Today, we worked on story elements, and the story elements that we focused on were setting, talking characters, the problem in the story, and the solution. Take care. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.